Hi everyone, my name is Nikita and today I will be going through E for English's Class 3, Level 3, Worksheet 3, and this one is about pronouns. So first let's learn what exactly a pronoun is. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun or a noun group. We will learn about two big groups of pronouns today. So there's going to be two types of pronouns that we're mainly learning about, and those two groups are called personal pronouns and possessive pronouns. So there are two types of personal pronouns and one type of possessive pronoun, and I'll be getting into that. But first, let's also define what a part of speech is. Parts of speech are the categories that words are grouped into. So, as you did earlier with these worksheets, you learned about nouns, you learned about verbs, you learned about adjectives and adverbs. Those are all different types of parts of speech, and a pronoun is another type of parts of speech that replaces a noun or a noun group. So, as I said, we're learning about two groups. So, the first group is called a personal pronoun, and you can find all that information under A. So, personal pronouns. The first type of personal pronoun that we're going to learn about is a subject pronoun. And a subject pronoun is a pronoun that is used for the subject of the sentence. So remember when we learned about subjects and predicates way back in class 2? Well, these are the pronouns that you would find in the subject. So pronouns like I, we, you, he, she, it, and they would all be found in the subject, and therefore they are called subject pronouns. Um, One example you can see is we eat food, where we is the subject pronoun because it is used as the subject of the sentence. So these specific pronouns can only be used in the subject. They cannot be used anywhere else. They can't be used in the predicate. They can only be used in the subject. Now we are going to move on to the second type of personal pronoun called object pronouns. Object pronouns are pronouns that are used as objects of a preposition or to whom or for whom an action is being done. So this one's kind of confusing, but it's okay, we can get through this. So first let's look at some examples. So we have me, us, you, him, her, it, and them. So you may notice that subject pronouns and object pronouns have you and it. Those two pronouns are the same, but you see that everything else changes. For example, when you look at the first person singular pronoun for an object, you see that it's me, not I, as you saw up here. And the reason it's like that is because I is only used in the subject and me is only used in the predicate or as an object of a preposition. So let me give you an example. If we're talking about subject pronouns and I want to talk about myself, then I would say, I am hungry, for example, right? But if I want to use an object pronoun, but I still want to talk about myself, I could say, my mom gave me food. We're still talking about the same person. We're still talking about me, but we're just using different pronouns to talk about me because that's what is correct to do. So there's a lot of examples you can do with these, but first we're going to look at an example with object pronouns. So for example, if you look here, we see that he gave me the ball. Me is an object pronoun because it is to whom the action was done. So he gave me the ball. Who is the ball being given to? It is being given to me. You may also notice in this same sentence, we have another pronoun. And I want you to quickly think back. He, which I'll highlight in yellow, what kind of pronoun is that? We just learned about this. Is it a subject pronoun or is it an object pronoun? Think about where it is in the sentence. If you said it's a subject pronoun, you are absolutely correct because he in this sentence is the subject and me is also a pronoun, but instead of being used in the subject, it's actually being used as a direct object or as a predicate in the sentence. That's why me is an object pronoun. Okay, let's learn about the second group of pronouns. The second group is called possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns are pronouns that tell to whom the object belongs. So, again, we have a nice little chart here. Mine, ours, yours, his, her, it's, theirs. So again, you see that mine is still referring to things that have to do with me, but we're not saying I, or we're not saying me, instead we're saying mine, because that is the correct way to talk about things that are yours. So let's look at an example. The toy is mine. Mine is a possessive pronoun because it tells to whom the object belongs. The toy is mine. If you wanted to say it is not mine, it is someone else's, you could say the toy is hers or the toy is his, and that would change based on who you're talking about. So now let's look at the difference between possessive pronouns, and the possessive adjectives. The difference is that possessive pronouns will replace the noun or the noun phrase. The book is hers. Mine replaces the noun that would tell to whom the book belongs. Therefore, hers is a possessive pronoun. And if you look at it is her book, her is not replacing a noun or a noun phrase, but is instead describing whose book it is. So that's why her is a possessive adjective and not a possessive pronoun. If that's still a little confusing for you, don't worry about it. Let's just get through the worksheet. So first, let's look at exercise 1. In these sentences, we have to underline all the pronouns that we can find. So instead of underlining, I'm actually going to be highlighting them in yellow because it's a little easier for you guys to see. So let's look at the example. I am hungry. Well, there's only one pronoun in this sentence, and it will be I, which I'll highlight in yellow. And the reason that it's I is because I is the only pronoun in the sentence. Am is a verb, and hungry is an adjective. None of them are even remotely close to being a pronoun, so we know that I has to be the only pronoun in that sentence. Okay, let's try number 1. I want you to try this one on your own. If you need to, you can go back up to the sections with the definitions to look at subject pronouns, object pronouns, or possessive pronouns to refresh your memory on what exactly each pronoun is. All right, so let's try number 1. They eat the food. They, exactly. And the reason that they is a pronoun is again because eat is a verb, the is not a noun or a pronoun, and food is a noun, but it's not a pronoun. So that's why they is the only pronoun in the sentence. Let's try number 2. Barbara and I run quickly. This one might be a little tricky, but there is actually only one pronoun in this sentence. So let's try this by process of elimination. So we have Barbara, but is Barbara a pronoun? Did we see that anywhere up there when I was talking about definitions? No, we didn't. Is and a pronoun? No. Is I a pronoun? Yes, good. Is running a pronoun? No, that's a verb. And is quickly a pronoun? No, it's an adjective. So we see that even though this sentence was kind of long, there's actually only one pronoun. Okay, let's try number 3. This one's also kind of tricky, but I know you guys can do this. The tigers play with it. So let's go through each word again. Is the a pronoun? No. Is tigers a pronoun? No. It's a noun, but it's not a pronoun. Is play a pronoun? This is an action, right? So this can only be a verb. Is with a pronoun? Did we see that up there in any of the charts? No. Is it a pronoun? Don't remember? Okay, that's fine. We can go back and check. Do you see it anywhere? Yeah, I see it right here, right? So yeah, it is our pronoun in this sentence, and we're going to go ahead and highlight that. So I want you to go ahead and do the rest of these examples in exercise 1. You can go back up to the definitions and check back if you forgot any of the pronouns. But for now, we're going to move on to exercise 2. So in these exercises, what you're going to have to do is write a sentence using the given pronoun. And now I want you to try and be creative, and I'm actually going to have you guys do these on your own because I think that you guys are definitely capable of doing this. And we're going to move on to exercise 3 and 4 because those ones are slightly more difficult. Okay, so exercise 3. Identify the pronoun as a subject pronoun, object pronoun, or personal pronoun. If the pronoun can be a subject or an object, write both on the blank. Okay, so this is where you can go back up to the definitions and check. You have me here as our number 1. I want you to go back up and check. Look at your subject or object pronouns. So these are our subject pronouns up here and our object pronouns up here or down here. So we're looking for me. Where do you see me? Is me up here? No. Is me down here? Yeah, it's right here. So now we know that me is an object pronoun. So let's go back down and write object over here. Now let's try you. Let's go back up to our tables. Do you see you anywhere here? Yeah, I see it twice. What about here? Oh, it's also twice here. So it can be both a subject or an object, and it depends on where exactly it is in this sentence. So that's why we're going to write both on that line, because you can be both. And now let's try number 3, him. Let's go back up. Do you see him up here under the subject pronouns? I see he, but it's not exactly the same. Do you see it down here though? Yeah, it's right here, right? And so it's an object pronoun because we found it under the object pronoun chart. So we're going to write object over here. And that is how you're going to go about doing the rest. Let's try number 4 together. Okay, so let's go back up to our tables. So it was mine. Is mine up here anywhere in a subject pronoun? No, I don't see it. How about here in our object pronouns? Is mine here? No, it's not. So then where could it be? Oh wait, there was another group of pronouns that we learned about today, right? Yeah, possessive pronouns. So let's go back here. Do you see mine anywhere over here? Over here. So therefore, mine is a possessive pronoun. So we're going to go back down and write possessive right here. And that is how I want you to go about and do the rest of these. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm going to move on to exercise 4 because that's a little harder too. Okay, so we have to identify the underlined pronoun as a subject pronoun, object pronoun, or personal pronoun. If the pronoun can be a subject and an object pronoun, write both on the blank. All right, so we're going to skip the example and go right into the problems. So number 1, he gave me food. In this sentence, we already have our underlined pronoun, which is me, so I'll go ahead and highlight that so it's easier to see. And now let's go back up to our tables or our charts and try to find whether me is a subject pronoun, an object pronoun, or a possessive pronoun. So we're looking for me. It's not up here in the subject pronoun, but I found it right here. So therefore it is an object pronoun. And it's not over here, it's not a possessive pronoun either. So that's why we're going to write object pronoun on the line. Another way you can do number 1 is if you don't want to keep going back up to looking at the charts up there, you can actually look at what the sentence says. So you know that it's not going to be a subject pronoun because me is not in the subject and it can never be used in the subject. But you see that it is part of the predicate, which is this whole part, and therefore it has to be an object pronoun. It's not a possessive pronoun because it's not telling who the object belongs to. It's not me food. It's not my food. It's I am being given the food. He is giving me the food. And yes, there actually is another pronoun here, but since that's not the underlined pronoun, we're just going to ignore that one actually. Okay, so let's try number 2. Polly and I laugh. And this is going to be the last example we do. So we have I here, and just by looking at where I is placed in the sentence, we can tell that this is a subject pronoun. But if you couldn't do that, you can always go back up to the charts and look for yourself. So I hope this video was helpful. Be sure to do the rest of this worksheet, and if you are stuck, be sure to check out the rest of the videos on this channel. Thank you, and bye!